And in news overseas, though nowhere near the atmospheric abundance like carbon dioxide, methane is an odorless gas that is highly flammable and gets trapped in the atmosphere if released without burning. Usually found in cattle excretions, methane rises up to the atmosphere and stays there for about 10 years before dematerializing or vanishing. A technologically advanced satellite that's been recently launched is helping to provide more accurate and consistent findings on methane emissions, as VOA's Julie Tabo reports.
And liftoff, Falcon 9.
This past March, private spaceflight company SpaceX carried into space a satellite that's using advanced technology to measure methane emissions around the world.
Methane separation confirmed.
Manufactured by Colorado-based Blue Canyon Technologies and roughly the size of a washing machine, MethaneSat will circle every part of the Earth to measure how much of the planet-warming gas has been emitted into our atmosphere and how those emissions vary.
MethaneSat would be one of the first satellites that's actually not only able to measure the source of emission, but to actually monitor it over time so they can see if it's getting better, if it's getting worse.
Methane emitted through human activity accounts for about 30% of the warming the planet is currently experiencing, and the gas is more than 28 times as potent as carbon dioxide at trapping heat in our atmosphere. MethaneSat, developed by the Environmental Defense Fund in collaboration with several partners, will initially focus on fossil fuel production, which is the second largest human-made contributor to methane emissions after agriculture.
We've been leading efforts to understand methane emissions from the oil and gas industry for well over 10 years now. And several years ago, we realized that we couldn't collect enough data to really be able to capture those emissions on an ongoing basis.
The data will help scientists assess where reductions need to be made and by whom.
The key here is going to empirical data, high quality data, data that we can trust and that we can then utilize to really understand the problem.
MethaneSat will yield what the team says will be the most comprehensive data set ever produced for a single industry. In the meantime, preliminary data from the satellite will be accessible to the public free of charge within the next 6 months. Julie Tabo, VOA News.